shoulder there if you're in the left lane and you don't want to get caught in, making sure people are safe on the highway. So otherwise, it's looking pretty clear across the rest of the system.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a few sprinkles or stray showers possible with a high of 41. And tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 25. And tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 40 near the lakefront and 46 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 38 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And a very good morning to you. It is Sunday, March 22nd, and we have a very busy show ahead. But before we get to that, you probably remember last week about this time, we were talking about a snowstorm forecast, but at least today we're looking forward to nicer weather. Well, Friday marked the first day of spring. And of course, as we're thinking about spring, we're thinking about all those little baby chicks and bunnies and goats and cows. Well, what better way to celebrate spring than to maybe visit them? And joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Sheila Everhart. She is the executive director of the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association. And Sheila, you have a way for people to bring their kiddos to all these farms and visit the baby animals.
Yes, Libby, we have a new digital passport called Spring Babies on the Farm, which features 25 Wisconsin farms that families can load on their phone, and they can go to participating farms that are featuring the baby lambs, calves, chickens, goats, piglets, and other spring arrivals. It is easy to do. It's a passport that runs through today through May 31st, and some of our farms are offering special events as well. This is a free digital passport. It's not an app. It's something that you can load on your phone to find these farms that are participating and invite you to Spring Baby on the Farm to see the animals being born, to see the fields coming back to life. The farmers are excited to welcome guests onto their farms. And spring is a time of year that Mother Nature sometimes throws us a curve. So it's really important that before our guests go to the farms, they want to check to make sure the farms are open. Like, there are some farms that are open today for guests to visit, such as Busy Barnes Farm Adventures, just a short country drive from Milwaukee in Fort Atkinson. And they are open today from 9 until 1. And then we have Apple Holler, which is a scenic drive from Milwaukee, just in Sturtevant. And they are also open today from 10:30 until noon for you to come and visit the baby animals. And if you're in another part of the state, we have Govin's Farm. And what I love about Govin's Farm is this year they're expecting 750 babies to be born on their farm in Menominee. And Govin's Farm is also open today from 9 until 4.
Sheila, this sounds like such an opportunity for people to bring their kids to see these animals and to get up close. Now, I understand they can actually touch the animals. It's like an interactive experience.
Yes, Govin's theory is if they can fit into your lap, you can hold and cuddle them. So many of our farms, like Kelly's Farmstead over in Fond du Lac that will be open April 3rd, they are having 80 ewe lambs, 100 chirping chickens, 4 litters of bunnies, 25 goat kids, 5 little piglets, 4 calves, and 40 quacking ducks, as well as their 3 pet donkeys. For you to feed, for you to touch, for you to cuddle.
Oh, did I see one of the farms actually has a baby porcupine?
Yes, that is Eagle Eye Farm up in River Falls, Wisconsin. That is such a unique farm because They have a baby porcupine as well as they have a kangaroo. And so no need to travel to Australia. Just go to Eagle Eyes Farm in River Falls.
All right. So, Sheila, let's talk about how you get involved in this, because as you said, this is completely free. You want to get that passport so you can visit these farms and find out which farms are open on which days between now and May 31st. How do we find out more information?
Will you go to the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association website? That is WIAGtourism.com, WIAGTOURISM.com. Right in the header is a circle that says Spring Babies on the Farm Digital Passport. Click right on that. It'll take you to the link. You sign up, and then it comes right to your inbox. And then you can start planning your spring ag venture. Now, this passport program runs through May 31st. So, of course, we want you to take a day trip and visit as many farms as you can. And along the way, when you check in at these farms, you can earn points. And the passport winner who earns the most points will be eligible for a 2-night farm stay at Irish Acres in New London, Wisconsin.
Oh, Sheila, this is such a great event, something fun for the entire family to do. And best of all, it's free. Sheila Everhard, Executive Director for the Wisconsin Agricultural Tourism Association. Thanks so much for sharing this experience with us.
My pleasure, and thank you for having us on. We hope to do it again sometime.
It's 8:13 and 38 degrees. It sounds like so much fun. I wish I had grandkids to take. I mean, I would love doing that, and I really want to see that baby porcupine. All right, well, it is spring, and that means baseball. And Brewers opening day against the Chicago White Sox is going to be Thursday, well, at noon at 9. WTMJ's Dominic Cotroneo is going to join us with a look at what we can expect this season. Dom will break it all down. You know, it seems that every week we're hearing about plans for another data center. And later on this morning, we're going to be talking with somebody who's concerned about what it is going to end up costing you, and we'll break it down for you. Also, we're going to be joined by Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. He's going to talk about some of the plans for AmFam Field. You'll be seeing those soon. Now, this past week, if you were watching TV at all, you could not have missed it. ABC was supposed to introduce a new kind of bachelorette tonight. But boy, is she a hot mess. I mean, the things that we have been hearing and seeing on some of those videos. Well, Sandy Max is going to join us, and she's going to talk about why an entire season of that show has been scrapped and what it's going to be costing ABC. Also, we're going to talk with our consumer expert. She's going to warn us about some scammers posing as members of law enforcement. We'll take a look back at the week in review. Nazir's in the newsroom. We've got Isaac pushing those buttons. And coming up in 2 minutes, we're going to have your Sunday forecast. Maybe a little bit overcast today, but the rest of the week is looking pretty good. It's all ahead on WTMJ. It's 8:15 at 38 degrees.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
Amy Simonson is the IT administrator with Professional Services Group. They had business technology from a not-so-supportive vendor. Not anymore. They switched to James Imaging Systems.
They come in as a partner. They want to help you. They want to make your business successful.
Including your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
He's always there when I need him. It's always like, what can I do to help you?
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner with great people and more value.
The value is we have the right equipment in the right place. We're getting reliable, consistent service when we need it.
Amy, your advice for other Wisconsin businesses?
I would definitely say contact James Imaging. They are very helpful and knowledgeable and will put you in the right place.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700, 262-781-7700, or visit jamesimaging.com.
It's going to be mostly cloudy today. It'll be breezy, cooler. We've got a few sprinkles, maybe even a stray shower is possible. We're only going to get up to 41 degrees. Then tonight, cloudy, down to 25. Tomorrow we start to see the sun. It's going to start warming up just a little bit. Now, if you're near the lake, it'll be about 40 for a high, but further inland, around 46. Then on Tuesday, the clouds come back, 53 for a high temperature. On Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower and 52 for a high. And then Thursday, we've got cloudy skies, another chance of a shower, and a high of 58. Of course, it's spring. We need that rain, right? Currently in Brookfield, it's 38 degrees. Richfield has 37. Delafield's at 39. And it's 38 degrees at 8:18 on WTMJ. Coming up next, it is Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal. And are you aware there's another food truck park coming to Milwaukee? We'll tell you where it is right after this.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
You know, a move later in life can be absolutely overwhelming. And thankfully, my friends at Bruce's team are here to make it simple, respectful, and best of all, worry-free. Bruce's team has 47 years of senior-focused real estate expertise. And are you aware they've sold over 3,000 homes? What does that mean for you? Bruce's team specializes in guiding seniors through a smooth, stress-free transition to their new home. You know, they've been doing it very long and so well that they were winners of the 2024 Better Business Bureau Ethics Award. So if it's time for you to make that change where you live, Bruce's team can help you with everything from downsizing support to reliable contractors who can help you get top dollar for your home. And the very best part, they handle the details so you receive top value quickly and with ease. So why don't you do it now? Call Bruce's team at 262-242-6177. That's 242-6177. Or visit brucesteam.com today.
At Gruber Law Offices, our biggest priority is the care and service we provide to our clients. We know accidents can be overwhelming, and we're here to help every step of the way. Call now. One call, that's all.
The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
It's time to check in with Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Let's find out about some of the new projects that we can expect to see at American Family Field.
Well, I mean, obviously, people are excited about the baseball, but the thing they're really excited about are construction projects at the stadium. That we all know that's why people go to baseball games. The business reporter and me talking. So, yes, we're excited for opening day, but we're also excited for some of the projects that are lined up at American Family Field. So one of the cool things that's in the works as they go through all of this construction is a new 20,000 square foot addition that will be available for rental by both the general public and season ticket holders out there at the stadium. So a lot of the construction stuff has kind of been in the background. Listeners know about the entire $500 million funding package that's going to winterize the stadium and make it usable more or less year-round. But basically, it turns out there's more going on, and that outdoor patio area is an exciting part of the conversation.
Now, how much of this is going to be completed during this 2026 season?
Yeah, basically none of it. So work will be done. The outdoor area is supposed to be wrapped up by early 2027. The winterization and all of that, that's the big project, the $25 million winterization project. That's going to be wrapped up in early 2028. And that's going to basically allow indoor events to take place even when the weather's bad.
When you say indoor events, are you talking about stadium-type concerts?
That is the big question that we've been asking kind of since this entire thing started. And yes, kind of is probably the best answer. So the idea of, you picture a concert that could take place at the baseball grounds there, and you say, okay, let's do them during the winter. Now, there's some amount of the type of acts that do concerts in stadiums don't necessarily tour during the winter, so it's not entirely clear how much or exactly what type of events will be taking place. But when you think about the size and the stature of that venue, having it be able to be used year-round obviously just gives the area another option for entertainment things.
All right. Well, let's move on, too, because it takes money to produce these kinds of projects. So let's look at some local financial institutions because a couple of them made some changes. Let's begin with Associated Bank. Tell us what's going on with them.
So they've named a new head of the market for Milwaukee, replacing a longtime leader who's really had a big impact here in the area. So Neil Riebelman is going to be replacing John Utz, who was in that role for about 11 years. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this story is, these are people who are well known in the business community, and the move itself is interesting, just from a career sort of standpoint. But the thing that really grabbed me was kind of what it says for Associated and how it sees the future. So John, who had been market president for over a decade, is moving into a role that's kind of looking more nationally, helping to push the bank into more areas and serve more customers. And it's part of this ongoing growth process that Associated Bank has been going through, both organically and through acquisitions, where they're entering new markets and they're growing their customer base. And I think sometimes we think of Associated as the hometown bank, which obviously I think they would want you to think about them that way, but they really are getting more of a regional presence in a very strong way.
Are we talking about that they're going to cross state lines, or are they just in Wisconsin right now?
No, they have crossed state lines actually as part of their acquisition. They made an acquisition last year that has them expanding even more into new geographies. I'm trying to remember if they're going to be the first largest or second largest bank in the Omaha area. Basically, they're reaching throughout. They're already in the Twin Cities. They have a presence of sorts in Texas. They'll be the second largest bank in Omaha and the 10th largest bank in the Twin Cities.
Speaking of financial institutions crossing state lines, Landmark Credit Union is also expanding their footprint.
Yeah, and this is interesting because it involves two local financial institutions. So Landmark Credit Union is expanding into Illinois, and they are buying an Illinois branch from North Shore Bank. So North Shore is primarily focused on Wisconsin, but they have this one branch in Illinois. So Landmark is picking it up. It's giving them an entree into that market. And it kind of shows, again, there's a strategic bit here that might be more interesting than just a bank branch being sold. Landmark, they've been very active in opening branches, so they're really looking at this geographic and customer growth sort of thing. At the same time, the reason North Shore sold it is they're seeing success. They're the 10th largest bank in the Milwaukee area. They've been kind of tweaking their branch structure with a goal of growing even more here locally. So this sale of the branch, again, stands as a interesting deal on its own, but it really does reflect a strategic focus from both institutions as they're moving ahead.
Do you think it has any connection to the fact that we're seeing more and more people from Illinois moving to Wisconsin?
There always is that question of how you, as a business and financial institutions particularly, but kind of how you do the interplay between geographies. So obviously the growth that we're seeing in Kenosha and those other areas to the south really is strengthening the corridor between Milwaukee and Chicago and is making it more robust.
We're talking with Tim Gibbons. He's editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And Tim, I can tell by the tone of your voice this morning, you're sounding a little bit hungry.
And there might soon be a new place to go to for people who have that desire. A new food truck park is being proposed on Milwaukee's south side. It's in the early planning stages, so we're not going to be able to head over there this afternoon, but it's basically taking a lot on Greenfield Avenue and turning it into a site for food trucks. One of the things I found interesting, because I always find it funny when people talk about building a food truck park. I mean, a food truck park is a parking lot, right? I mean, it's fun for food trucks, but they're going to look beyond that. They're going to have a gazebo, they're going to have trees and a sitting area and cleaning areas and things that kind of elevate it to make it truly a park, not just a parking lot.
You know, while we're thinking about food around Milwaukee, I have to ask you this, Tim. How many chefs and restaurants are vying for James Beard recognition this year?
So we did a big look at a bunch of data around the James Beard Awards this year, and I'll get to why in a second. But to actually answer your question, we got a good group of nominees. We got people vying for Best New Restaurant, for Outstanding Bar and Emerging Chef, as well as several nods for Best Chef in the Midwest. So it's going to be interesting later this month when they come out with the nominees for those awards. I want to pause for a second just because the nomenclature that James Beard uses is confusing as can be. So the first group of names that is released, they call semifinalists, and then those semifinalists are pared down to a list of nominees, and then the nominees go on to vie to be winners.
So that's what we're waiting for this week, is the selection of nominees?
Exactly. That the semifinalists have been released, and now we're waiting for the nominees. So what's interesting and why we're going through and crunching the numbers, and if you go to our site, we have a whole data package going back to 1990 when the James Beard Award started, looking at over time how many nominees and semifinalists and winners there have been in the different categories. But we're up for local institutions are up for national awards. So 1033 Omakasa, Vanessa Rose, who's the chef and owner of Mother's, and the Mothership, which is a bar, all of those are vying in these national categories for, Best New Restaurant, Emerging Chef, and Outstanding Bar. Obviously, winning any of the James Beard Awards is a huge deal and says something about the strength of the restaurant industry, but it's particularly interesting to be getting these national looks where I do think Milwaukee sometimes has, as one chef told us, kind of a Midwest humility about the food scene. And so it's good both internally and externally to have this national viewpoint that, we're good regionally, and some of our establishments are actually, could be top in the nation.
If only James Beard would consider giving an award to the best food truck, we could all bring it together.
I'm pretty sure that if somebody sponsored it, the James Beard Award might actually consider that. I do think that if that was an award, there are definitely some good local contenders for it.
And I bet you could name them all. Tim Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. It's always great to have you here.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270.
This cross?
$90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
It's 8:31, and we've got Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And Nazir, there was a shooting overnight, and it was a fatality.
Yes, thank you, Libby. Milwaukee police are investigating a deadly shooting involving multiple victims on the city's north side. Officers say it happened Saturday morning around 11 near 37th and Darien Street. 5 people were shot. A 25-year-old man later died at the hospital. 4 others, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and 2 29-year-olds were all injured but expected to survive. Investigators believe the shooting stemmed from an argument, but no suspects are in custody. A garage fire was quickly extinguished at a Waukesha home Saturday night. Fire crews responded around 9 near Rolling Ridge Drive and Woodridge Lane, where a single-story residence had flames in the attached garage. Crews forced entry, put out the fire, and conducted a search of the home, and no one was inside. The home was deemed safe for occupants to return, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. A new Milwaukee waterfront business is a total loss after a fire. The Driftwood Sauna Club near Water Street and National Avenue went up in flames just weeks after opening. Owners say the fire comes after about 6 months of work building the wellness space, which held its launch party earlier this month. The cause of the fire is unknown currently, and it's unclear what's next for the business. The company says anyone with reservations will be contacted, and a GoFundMe has been set up to help support recovery efforts. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues, delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a few sprinkles or stray showers possible with a high of 41. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 25. Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 40 near the lakefront and 46 inland. Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 53. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower and a high of 52. And Thursday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower and a high of 58. Right now in Madison, it is 40. In Green Bay, 32. In Waukesha, 39. And in Milwaukee, 37 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:34.
In just 2 minutes, it's a Week in Review brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit froedtert.com/ortho.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
And welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. Well, as you well know, there was a blizzard just as spring was beginning. Plus, we had controversial road names and an early exit for the Badgers. There was a lot more, too. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go.
This major winter storm still hammering Wisconsin. Some areas to the north seeing over 2 feet of snow. Blizzard conditions continuing through the day.
They got the donuts out and everything? Is it just a normal day at the Quick Trip?
Oh, yeah. They're working normally in there. Now, tell me about your experience on the roads this morning.
Absolutely crap.
So I back out of our garage and I get stuck literally on our driveway.
Dozens of animal rights activists stormed Ridgeland Farms on Sunday in what they call an open rescue. The group forced their way into buildings, caused damage, and left with 23 beagles.
If you look at the photographs, they do not look like animals who have been subject to any mistreatment.
Are you a criminal?
These are sentient, loving beagles that have a right to have the same sort of life and love as every other puppy.
And a fly ball to center. It is back, way back. Grand slam, Brandon Lockridge. Me oh my.
Wow.
This is the greatest honor. I can't even believe it.
Jessie Buckley winning the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role in Hamnet.
It was going to be a horse race, and boy, did it live up to the billing.
He is in studio on Wisconsin's Morning News. Olympic champion Jordan Stoltz is in the house.
So what was the first thing you did when you got home? Was there like one thing that you needed to do or had to do or not?
Oh, I went to bed right away.
So as of right now, the percentage of people who say that Trump devotion syndrome is more irrational than Trump derangement syndrome is 84%.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's the sound of Irish musician and longtime Celtic MKE staffer Christina Paris.
The Washington County Executive Committee will consider naming a portion of County Road K Charlie Kirk Way.
2 separate resolutions will be considered by the committee, one authorizing the name change, the other allocating $50,000 from the county's general fund for road name overlays, allocating $50,000.
Washington County, what the hell are you thinking here?
So they want you to bring macaroni on your flight so you can donate that to the cause for the security people who are working for free to prevent a bomb from getting on the plane. I love how we've normalized
It's the absurdity of the situation.
We have normalized that.
We already paid for the work that they're doing.
Yes.
They're just not getting it.
College basketball launches into its best time of the year. He is known in some circles as Bracket Jim.
Yes, thousands, millions of people are going to be watching these games as opposed to doing their jobs.
The city of Milwaukee and other cities and counties across the country are now trying to figure out what to do with Cesar Chavez after disturbing abuse allegations have come out now about the civil rights icon.
What was the most important thing you said in your 45-minute address this morning?
It was great to be able to highlight that ever since I've been county executive, we've ended every year with a surplus.
That is a message that should be shouted.
Wisconsin Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu will not seek re-election this fall,
saying it was, quote, time for a new chapter in my life.
How's your bracket doing?
I'm not well.
Not so good. That wasn't good either.
Jazz, how's your bracket doing?
What bracket?
I went to Washington, D.C. for the Parkinson's Policy Forum. You have to get into the head of a politician and their staff. What they're going for, will it benefit them or not? If you feel like you want to do something like this, it is very possible.
Milwaukee Film Festival has chosen Uke to be the opening night film, so that's
congratulations.
An amazing honor.
Before the first game, he grabbed a tuba and he started shagging fly balls with the tuba.
I love that photo. It seems very Bob.
Chuck Norris has died, 86 years old. I didn't think Chuck Norris could die.
I was going to say, isn't death afraid of Chuck Norris?
Right. And we say that with love and with affection, of course.
Right.
What are we, gay? What a weekend, Franklin.
I should have stayed at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that is the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Text the word week to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620, and you can hear it all again. It's 8:41. Have you ever gotten one of those calls from somebody saying, I'm a police officer? That's probably a scam. So listen to what our consumer expert has to say right after this.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Son, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And eat pizza.
Preferably a Marty's Pizza, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we do everything we can to keep the prices low. We're a family-run business, and many of our employees have families. I want to make sure that as tight as it gets, a growing family can always afford to enjoy a Marty's Pizza.
Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
And martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
You know, if a family is going through a personal crisis, they're not always making the best decisions in the moment. And there are people that take advantage of these situations. Joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Michelle Reinen, our consumer expert from DATCAP. And you have seen some targeted family scams, Michelle. Tell us about it.
We have. Recently, a Wisconsin consumer lost thousands of dollars to a scammer who used publicly available information to impersonate a law enforcement official. What happened is this consumer was called about their family member who was actually in jail at the time, and the caller told the consumer that their family member could be let out of jail if they just paid $725. This caller was actually a scammer who was claiming to be a law enforcement officer and provided a fake name to the consumer. But because the details provided to the consumer seemed accurate, and this was a brand new experience for the family, they sent the scammer $725 using a banking app. But the scammer repeatedly claimed that the money hadn't been received, so they sent that same amount 3 more times. So a total of $2,900 was actually transmitted to this scammer.
How did they finally figure out that they were being taken advantage of?
Well, after all those payments, they actually contacted local officials, and that's when they learned they'd been scammed because the money just kept not being received. And this really just highlights the importance of double-checking and verifying details before sending anyone money, especially when the situation is brand new and never been experienced before. So if you receive that phone call, text message, social media message, email, letter, or any other communication from someone claiming to represent a family member or a law enforcement agency, practice that caution and take your time through the situation.
Did they find the person who was taking advantage of this family?
Well, that's certainly still being worked on by DADCAP and the law enforcement officials to see if we can capture that individual.
All right, so if you think you're being scammed, especially if your family is in crisis, who do we call?
Call the Consumer Protection Hotline at DADCAP, 800-422-7128.
It's 8:46 and 38 degrees at WTMJ.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
We'll expect to see some clouds today. It's going to be breezy, cooler. We might even get a few sprinkles or even a shower. 41 for a high, then down to 25 overnight. Tomorrow, a little bit of sunshine with a high of 40 if you're close to the lake, 46 inland. Then the clouds come back on Tuesday, but we're going to get warmer. 53 will be our high. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a slight chance of a shower, 52 for a high. And then Thursday, mostly cloudy, another chance of rain and a high of 58. Right now in Cedarburg, we have 37 degrees. Kenosha has 37. In Lac La Belle, it is 40 degrees, and we're up to 39 at WTMJ. Coming up next, it's Sandy Max, and boy, what a mess that Bachelorette has been. We'll talk about it after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristen Bry, and I want to tell you about the dentist I recommend, my dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Conmawalk Dental Care. If you've been putting off a cleaning, dealing with tooth sensitivity, or you're ready to finally fix what's been bothering you, this is a great place to start. Dr. Michaels and his team are welcoming, thorough, and focused on your comfort. They explain your options clearly and help you feel at ease in the chair. From regular checkups to crowns, cosmetic improvements, implants, and Invisalign, they can handle it all. And if something happens unexpectedly, they offer emergency dentistry too. I make the drive from Milwaukee to Oconomowoc just to see Dr. Michaels and his fantastic staff. They're that good. So call 262-567-7224 to request an appointment today, or just visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com. That's 262-567-7224 or drmichaelsdentalcare.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. Want to watch all your favorite WTMJ shows? Check out the WTMJ YouTube channel. Live streams of all your favorite WTMJ shows. From Wisconsin's morning news to what's on tap. See breaking news as it happens. Get involved with the action in the chat on Brewers' Extra Innings and Bucks Talk. Or see all the cool tools on the Fix-It Show. Missed your favorite show? We've got past live streams and interview highlights too. Subscribe to 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
But I know we're not really. If you're a Bachelor or Bachelorette fan, you had quite an awakening this week when it was announced this year's Bachelorette is not going to be aired on ABC. Well, to break it all down for us, here's Sandy Max. You know her, of course, from What's on Tap. And Sandy, what the heck is going on? You know, we talked about the secret lives of Mormon wives not that long ago, and you told us what a phenom that had been. And that sort of led to one of the stars being on Dancing with the Stars. And being announced as a Bachelorette. But now it seems to all be blowing up.
Well, I feel like all of these reality shows are cross-pollinating. And for anybody who's listening going, I don't care about The Bachelor, I bet everybody watches some reality show, whether it's a food show, whether it's one of the housewives shows, whether it's Amazing Race. Like, I feel like reality shows are just part of our lives. And even if you're not a Bachelor or Bachelorette fan or watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the fact that these two reality shows have now dovetailed together And the fact that because of the domestic violence investigation, ABC, who put so much money and production into the Bachelorette franchise, even parading this gal, Taylor Frankie Smith, on the red carpet at the Oscars, they pulled the plug days before the premiere that was supposed to happen tonight. They pulled the plug on the entire series, which is recorded, it is produced. That was a chunk of time in people's lives. And also, on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they have had this as a storyline, talking about how, she's going to be on The Bachelorette, and this is a big deal. And they're also talking about her probation. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't recommend it. I'm easily disturbed. Taylor Frankie Paul has had two fathers for two little ones, like a 4 and 2-year-old, like little kids. So she's been in this awful toxic cycle with the latest guy named Taylor. And this video, Libby, have you seen it?
Oh, I sure have. You know, the first tip-off should have been that she had 3 first names. Anybody named Taylor Frankie Paul, right there would have been a red flag to me. But here's what I don't understand. Disney Entertainment owns Hulu. Hulu produces Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And so then another arm of Disney, ABC, decided to take this one very messy person and put her on Dancing with the Stars, and then named her as the Bachelorette. Why would a company like Disney not vet a person who they were pushing into reality stardom?
And she was already on probation for that video that surfaced for that altercation. And there's a lot of suspicion about the deeper family issues here. Is how did TMZ get that video right around this time? Was that strategery to get custody of these children? Because Dakota's other father of the other child have been seen together. And are they trying to get custody of the children? This is just so sad and messy. And now you've got domestic violence. And this is one of those rare occasions. This is one of the first female domestic violence videos that has rippled out. And it really is disturbing. That's why I asked you if you saw it. Like it's haunting me. And the other huge dynamic to that video is one of the little ones was right there when a stool is thrown, and you hear that child.
And she got hit with it. But what I don't understand is not only was she charged with 3 felonies back in 2023, she pleaded guilty. Yet they decided to go ahead and push her into a starring position.
Especially on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, would you want to be one of those guys who fell for her? Think about that.
Yeah, what are those untold stories? And, you know, one of those guys is a dude who grew up in Wisconsin, went to West Allis Central. His name is Brandon Pearce. And
That's right.
Yeah, he's a single dad in South Dakota. And his all-time favorite film is The Notebook. But people really do invest emotionally in these shows. And I think that was another thing that a lot of Bachelorette fans weren't happy about Taylor Frankie Paul being cast because, look, it is like watching a rom-com. These Bachelorette shows, they're not supposed to be vehicles for people who are already on reality shows. People could already slide into Taylor Frankie Paul's DMs. They know who she is if they're interested. These Bachelor and Bachelorette shows are supposed to be kind of non-media savvy people who are looking for true love as a last resort on TV because they haven't found it yet in their 20s, you know? And so it messes with the fairy tale part of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, romance and escapism.
All right, so this is obviously a story that we will continue to watch, but there was at least one good news story about some reality stars this week.
Yeah, and I don't think it was part of any reality show, which is highly unusual, especially for the Bravo housewives, who I feel like do not step out of the house in their stilettos unless they're getting paid. This was the Housewives on the Hill event, and it was for a good cause to spotlight that HIV care and funding for, if you've heard of PrEP and HIV medications, really in danger with all of the evolutions of healthcare being under fire and that kind of thing. Well, interestingly enough, Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin opened up an event and introduced housewives Erica Jane, who I see on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, guilty pleasure, Phaedra Parks, who's on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Melissa Gorga, who's on the New Jersey version. She introduced an event where they spoke about this, but there were more housewives that were there. Nene Leakes, also of Atlanta, from Potomac, Candace Dillard Bassett, Mary Saul Patton of Miami, and Luann de Lesseps of the New York City. But all 7 of these women were spotlighting the realities faced by Americans living with HIV, which housewives aren't necessarily known to be altruistic and helping others. They're known more for, drinking the Pinot and screeching at each other and holding grudges. So to see these women come together, and also it was sponsored by a group that is really advocating for the telemedicine platform called Mister that provides online access for those medications. That's a really savvy move to get this in the conversation, to get these high-profile, well-packaged women to talk about this subject and get the attention.
Well, it was good of them to do it. Of course, a couple of those names you mentioned, they've had their own legal problems, but we're not going to go into that today. Hey, Sandy, what are we doing on What's on Tap this week?
Oh, we're getting ready for Brewers opening day, including the preview of the Uke documentary. I will have more updates on that film, and also another documentary called The Sound of a Bucket List that follows a girl who gets her hearing restored.
Can't wait to hear it. Sandy Max with What's on Tap. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Libby.
And coming up on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News, right after the newscast with Nizer, new at 9, Dominic Catronio, the host of Brewers Extra Innings and Brewers Weekly, joins us. We're going to take a look at the team, how they did over the spring training break, and some of the trades they made, and what the season's looking like. We'll talk with Dominic right after this. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it is 37 degrees here in Milwaukee. Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and a few sprinkles this morning with a high of 41, and tonight, a low of 25. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Nizer Spencer. President Trump has said he's considering winding down Operation Epic Fury, but his actions appear to tell a different story. More from News Nation's Hannah Brandt.
In a sign of where this operation could be headed next, the U.S. is continuing to build up its military presence in the region, sending thousands of troops, a massive deployment of 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. They'll be adding to the nearly 50,000 U.S. troops already in place. Plus, another warship, the USS Boxer, is also on its way to the region. Now, the White House, meanwhile, is considering pumping more money into the war effort.
The Pentagon is asking Congress for $200 billion to keep Operation Epic Fury going. A shooting on Milwaukee's north side caused a crash involving a school bus.
MPD says a suspect fired shots at a vehicle near West Hadley and North 35th Street shortly before 4 Thursday. The driver of the vehicle veered into traffic, struck a school bus and another vehicle, and then fled on foot. Police say Friday a 15-year-old arrived at a hospital for treatment of non-fatal injuries related to the incident, but did not say where or how the victim was injured. Milwaukee police are still seeking the suspect and driver of the vehicle. No other injuries were reported. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
The Community Prosecution Unit includes 8 prosecutors who work within Milwaukee's neighborhoods. Milwaukee District Attorney Kent Lovren says his office has been using the program for 20 years. He tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
They work with law enforcement officers commissioned by the police department solely to do community outreach and solely to respond to issues raised by neighborhood groups, raised by people on the ground level in neighborhoods every day that they're seeing as a concern, and flagging that concern and asking the police and our prosecutors to assemble the necessary other partners to fix the situation before it becomes something that's a crisis.
To contact the CPU, call Milwaukee Police. Expectations for tipping is expanding. Restaurant industry expert Nick Neonakis says many self-serve restaurants now offer options for tipping. He tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
These big corporations like Toast, Square, Clover that make all these point-of-sale systems, they're getting 3% on every one of those tips. So now they have a vested interest in it. The Fair Labor Standards Act, the FLSA, says that if an employee is getting 30% or more of their wages in tips, that the employer can pay the minimum wage.
Around 7 out of 10 U.S. adults say tipping is expected in more places today than it was 5 years ago. The Brewers are bringing new flavors to the ballpark this season. The team is expanding what fans can eat and experience before first pitch. Darnell with Candy Shop tells WTMJ.
Definitely nervous for opening day for sure, but it's simple, but nervous. Just make sure we get all the candy stocked. Make sure we have good experiences with fans. But I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited for the Brewers. Hopefully we can do another run here, maybe make it to the World Series. But I'm just excited to be here in the stadium.
Brewers opening day is this Thursday against the White Sox at 2:10. Sports traffic and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:03.
The biggest day in baseball is back. Opening day returns to American Family Field on Thursday, March 26th at 1:10 p.m. when the Brewers take on the White Sox. Celebrate the return of ballpark dogs, famous racing sausages, tailgate days, and your favorite Milwaukee Brewers in action once again. This isn't just any game, it's opening day. Enjoy live music, a Brewers drum line, and more special events throughout the day. Get your tickets for opening day at American Family Field now at brewers.com/opening day.
We're all ready for a little spring, and Fleet Farm's ready to get you prepped with great buys, like our patriotic folding chair for $14.99. Superior crabgrass preventer with lawn fertilizer is on sale for $16.99 a bag. Bounty Essentials double roll paper towel 6-packs are $7.97. And get 50 rounds of CCI Blazer Brass 9mm handgun ammo for $10.99. Prep for less at Fleet Farm. And check out even more springtime deals at fleetfarm.com.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian, more.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks won their game against the Suns 108-105 Saturday, snapping a long losing streak. Their next game is Monday against the Los Angeles Clippers at 9:30. The Wisconsin women's hockey team is on the national championship run, now against Ohio State again. Team captain and Olympic MVP Caroline Harvey won the Patty Kazmaier Memorial Award. The national title game is today at 3. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic along I-94 going westbound. A couple of disabled vehicles in the Waukesha County from Brookfield into the Waukesha-Pewaukee area. Otherwise, looking pretty clear across the rest of the system.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Here's your WTMJ forecast today. Mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a few sprinkles or stray showers possible later today with a high of 41. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 25. Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 40 near the lakefront, 46 inland. Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 53. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of a shower and a high of 52. And Thursday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of rain and a high of 58. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 37 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
And welcome back. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to be telling you how data centers could cost you. But before we do anything else, New at 9, joining us is the host of Brewers Extra Innings and Brewers Weekly. It is Dominic Catronio, and we are so excited. Thursday is the big opening day at AmFam. And Dom, you've been watching the team very up close and personal during spring training. How have they been looking? What do you think of the team so far?
Thanks for having me, Libby. You know, I think the way I look at this team is a quiet confidence in the way that they've been playing and preparing. It's more of the same disrespect of this team externally, but internally it's pretty similar to last year's club and maybe just some new faces in the same roles. So I'm really excited to see, in particular, a couple of guys. Jackson Churio, in his third year in the big leagues, has shown some real signs of growth already. A healthy William Contreras is going to go a long way for the Brewers. He was dealing with a finger issue virtually all season last year. And then on the pitching side, there is so many young, talented pitchers, of course, headlined by Jacob Mizorowski taking the ball on opening day. This is a team that has a young core identified and is ready to hang on to it for years to come.
You mentioned disrespect of the team externally. What do you mean by that?
So there are so many prognosticators, and baseball, as we know, is a numbers game, and we can project virtually everything under the sun when it comes to how many home runs are you going to hit, how many stolen bases, what's this guy's earned run average going to be. And there are a lot of smart people in the world that do this for a living. I'm not disparaging them, but I don't understand how the team that's made the playoffs 6 of the last 7 years and won the division 3 consecutive years continues to be disrespected in a way that people have said the same things for 3 straight years. 2 years ago, it was, wow, they traded Corbin Burns. How are they going to win the division? They won the division. Last year was like, wow, they traded Devin Williams. How are they going to win the division? They won the division. This year, it's like, wow, they traded Freddie Peralta. Well, we've seen this story before, so I don't understand. The team has shown you their process and why they believe in their process. It's surprising that nobody else in baseball really believes in it either.
Well, you mentioned the trades. What trade are you most excited about?
I really think the Red Sox trade that, a fan favorite in Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, Anthony Siegler was also in that trade. People were shocked given it was the week before spring training opened, and it was your entire third base depth chart. But the Brewers acquired back a player that they originally drafted named David Hamilton, and he had a tremendous spring. He's learning third base for the first time in his career, but offensively, he was certainly impressive. But on the other side of that deal, the Brewers received 2 key left-handed pitchers that are both going to pitch in the big leagues for years to come. Kyle Harrison will likely be in the opening day rotation. He will be making a start probably against the Rays in the midweek series next week. And the next kid in that, his name is Shane Drowan, and he's another lefty prospect that really had a great spring training, and he'll be starting one of the exhibition games here on Monday or Tuesday. The thing about Drowan that impresses me is that his stuff is big league ready. It's been health is the reason he hasn't made his big league debut, but he is healthy now, and he's excited, and he will make his big league debut in a Brewer uniform.
Okay, admittedly, I am not that knowledgeable about how baseball works, other than I like going to AmFam and watching the Brewers play. But when you talk about left-handed pitchers, why is that so significant that a team has those on their roster?
It's a good question. I think the way that baseball, it's a lot like American sports, right? Everyone's majority right-handed, right? And the look from a lefty can change things. And traditionally in baseball as well, your best power hitters tend to be left-handed hitters. So one way to neutralize left-handed hitting is to have left-handed pitching. It's a little harder to see the baseball. The ball spins in a different direction than what you're used to as from a right-handed pitcher. It's just a different look. It's something to keep guys on their toes. Being left-handed in baseball is super valuable, and basically if your child is growing up and he's showing signs that he's left-handed, make sure you put a baseball in his hand, and they're going to have a job for life.
We're talking with Dominic Cotroneo. He is the host of Brewers Extra Innings and Brewers Weekly. All right, stupid question. You can always expect those from me, Dom. Opening day, the Brewers are playing the Chicago White Sox. Why are they facing a team that's not in their division for the opening game?
That is a great question, actually, Libby, because that's been a topic of conversation in baseball this year when the schedule came out. So Interleague was introduced in the 90s, coming out of the 1994 strike, and Interleague play being the American League and the National League. Remember, the Brewers used to be in the American League, and this used to be a historic rivalry back in the 80s between the White Sox and the Brewers. But the way that Interleague has now changed over the years is from previous iterations where you'd only play one division in the other league. Then it was maybe a few more games and a interleague rival. And now every team plays every team. It's a balanced schedule. So instead of playing 19 games against each team in your division, you're now playing 13 games. So those 24 games are now being spread out against the other league. You get one series a year against the other league's teams, and that's the American League, of course. So the Brewers, 5 of their first 6 series are against American League teams, which quite frankly is ludicrous, if you ask me, in the way the baseball tradition works. So you get the White Sox, you get the Rays, you go to Kansas City, you go to Boston, you come home for Washington. Hey, there's a National League team. And then the Toronto Blue Jays are here. So it's very odd that the Brewers won't see, let alone a divisional opponent, but a National League opponent until week 3.
You said Miz is going to pitch on Thursday. I think we're really excited to see him back out there on the mound. What do you expect to see from him?
Miz told us in the media in his last spring training tune-up on Friday night, I don't think there's such thing as too amped up. I want all the juice. This dude has shown that he thrives in rocking environments. And what I mean by that is, remember the pandemonium of his first 3-4 starts where his big league debut was a Wednesday against the Cardinals and suddenly 30,000 were here. And then his next start was Paul Skeens versus Jacob Mizorowski, the 2 best young arms in baseball last year. And that was like a Tuesday, and suddenly there were 40,000 watching that, right? And then a couple starts later, it was Jacob Mizorowski versus Clayton Kershaw, the future Hall of Famer on the Dodgers, and the Brewers won that game too. And then you look at his postseason play. He had 3 tremendous games in the postseason last year. This dude means it. You can look at the track record to say this kid wants the ball in the biggest moments. He's a little bit of a goofball in a loving way out there. He lets his emotions out on his sleeve. He shows you when he's fired up. He shows you when he's frustrated when he doesn't execute a pitch. It's just so refreshing to see somebody that isn't a robot out there and is clearly enjoying his craft.
All right. The question everybody is wondering, Dom, how's the season going to go?
I still sit here, like I said in the first question, Libby, I still see the Brewers as being the favorites in the division. I know people might think that's a homer take, given what the Cubs have done this offseason. Heck, the Reds made the playoffs last year. The Pirates have gotten better too. But I sit here and look at this squad that won 97 games a year ago. Yes, there are new faces, but I remind folks, The opening day roster last season, if you want to go chuckle at what the season ended, go look at the opening day roster last year. And also remember how they started last year. 0-4, miserable starts of the year, the home run barrage at Yankee Stadium, and yet they still won 97 games. So I still see this team as the favorites in the division. They have tremendous pitching. They have an incredible bullpen, and they have young budding stars like Bryce Terang and Jackson Chourio and Jet Williams, a guy that they acquired, and Brandon Sproat, another guy that they acquired. These are going to be quick fan favorites in the 2026 season.
Dom Catronio, I know you are going to keep us apprised throughout the season on Brewers Extra Innings and Brewers Weekly, and I hope to talk to you many more times between now and the World Series.
Let the marathon begin. Thank you, Libby.
Dominic Catronio. I am Libby Collins. It is 9:17 on WTMJ. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we'll hear from Eric Bilstead with another Everyday Hero.
Turn your tax refund into a new post-spring building with Menards. Make this the year you check that project off the list. For over 65 years, Menards has been the destination for post-spring buildings. They go up fast and are a durable, low-maintenance solution for extra storage and protecting your equipment. Get a free estimate fast and design your own using our design program. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7681. 800-265-7681. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-265-7681.
I'm Libby Collins on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 9:19, and it's time to recognize another Everyday Hero.
An everyday hero is when Wisconsin's Morning News celebrates an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning they'd be saving a life. Today we head to San Antonio. Rene Villarreal-Able and his wife were on the interstate when they noticed a vehicle being driven erratically. This SUV was weaving in and out of traffic, and at one point it bounced off the concrete wall and just kept going.
He was coming off that left side of the wall already.
That's Renee chatting with Ken's 5. It's a CBS affiliate in San Antonio.
Do not be by that 18-wheeler right now, please. Do not be by this 18-wheeler.
His wife, Andrea, recorded video of it. You can hear it here.
Oh, no, no, no. Somebody needs to stop him. What are we going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do? Oh, God.
We saw him keep swerving. That's when we realized something was wrong. And we went to go check on him. And then that's when we finally came up to, he was unconscious.
The driver was out cold on the interstate, weaving in and out of traffic.
Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. He's going to hit us. They're asleep, Renee.
That's when we realized, okay, he's not going to stop and he could hurt more people.
So Renee takes action.
So I was just really worried about his well-being, seeing his state, like that. It was terrible. I don't wish that upon nobody.
If you listen closely, you can hear it.
Oh, oh, God.
The SUV hits his rear end. They slow down. Finally, to a stop, he basically pulled a pit maneuver. Never done that before. You can see the video. Just text the word hero to the Siding Unlimited WTMJ Talk and Text line 855-616-1620. As this was happening, another driver stops. She happened to be a nurse, and she helped do CPR on that unconscious driver.
He lost color, but he came back, and that made it worth it. Being brought back made everything worth it.
This guy had a pulse and was breathing when they finally got him in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. What would you do if you saw this same thing happen? For Renee, he used his pickup truck to slow the SUV down and save this man's life. Thank you, Renee Villarreal-Able. You, sir, are an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Thanks a lot, Eric. Always great to hear from you and the people that you highlight during Everyday Hero. It's 9:22 and 39 degrees on WTMJ.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $14.98 with 1 carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is Express Entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
The Brew Crew are back on March 26th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they open up the season against the Chicago White Sox.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
Brewers opening day is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in March 26th at 1:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
I'm Vince Vitrano, and this is the Sunday Sip. We're talking about your workplace today with Alex Eichhorn from Axis Legal. That's AXIS Legal. Good to see you, Alex.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Vince.
Well, I know we're going to be talking a bit about workers' compensation. Everybody's heard that term, but I'm not sure everybody knows what it means. Can you give us the easy definition?
Yeah, really, Wisconsin was the first state to introduce workers' compensation. What it means is that if you're injured while working on the job, you are covered for your lost wages, you're covered for your medical bills, and you're covered for any permanent injury. So we were the first state, and ours is really looked at as one of the gems throughout the nation.
Well, as you do this here in Wisconsin, I hear you say a lot, I want to talk to people who are worn down by work. What does that mean?
Yeah, so we don't just represent people who have an acute injury, something falls on them or they feel a pop in their back. We represent people oftentimes who have worked for an employer for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and they're doing physical labor. And over time, the analogy I use is the drop of rain on a stone. You know, after the first week, you don't see a divot in the stone. After a year, maybe a minor divot. But after 5, 10 years, there's a big divot in that stone from where the rain has been hitting. And it's just like that for injured workers. You know, they're day in, day out, bending over, lifting, and eventually their back goes out or they need some surgical intervention. And what we're able to do is bring it all together. We're able to speak with their doctors, speak with them, and make a compelling case that their work activity materially contributed to their bad back. And if we can do that, it brings the whole case into compensability so they can get lost wages, medical bills, and potentially even a large settlement so that they can support themselves if they're unable to work in the future.
So what you're saying is folks might be entitled to compensation who have sort of repetitive motion types of things that have occurred over a long time, as opposed to, I think most of us think, well, I have to have had an accident. There has to be a fall, some sort of tragic moment.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So, it's a great case, and so many people don't realize it, but the standard is really what we have to show is there's a material contribution. So it means, and it's been defined as very limited contribution of their work activity to the ultimate surgical intervention. So if you've got someone who is a construction worker for 30 years lifting day in, day out, and they need a fusion and they're 55 years old, they go in, they do an MRI, and their back looks like that of a 70-year-old, their doctor is very, very likely going to say that there's this acceleration. Their back is worse than it otherwise would have been, and that is what we need to prove to make it a payable claim. So we have a great deal of success with that.
Talking with Alex Eichhorn of Axis Legal. That's AXIS Legal. This is a real specific area of law. Alex, what got you interested in helping Wisconsin workers in this way?
Yeah, so I started off not in this area of law, but I started seeing a lot of collateral cases or cases where we were doing disability, and we would ask, how did you become disabled? And it was so very frequent that people would say, well, I blew out my back at work, or both my knees are shot, I needed a hip replacement, and I ultimately couldn't work anymore. And that was kind of the impetus for me to start the division about now coming up on a decade and a half ago, is to help these people. So from there, we've now grown to the state's largest workers' compensation firm. We help more individuals than any other firm in the state. Over the last decade and a half, we've helped well over 3,000 people, and we've recovered nearly $40 million now for these people.
Alex, how does someone know the difference between when they should try to work through something like this with their employer first on their own versus when they really need to get legal representation and contact you?
And I think the reality of anyone is that when you have even a minor injury or something you think is minor or hope is minor, you don't go report it right away, right? Like, I remember I had an injury at work. I hurt my back, and I did the wrong thing. I never actually reported it to my boss at the time. And, 10 years later, I still have some issues with it. So the real answer is it's up to every person. However, by at least informing your employer that an injury occurred, it puts it on the record, and then there's something to relate back to. If indeed in a month, that injury that you thought was going to go away is still there, then you can say to your boss, hey, I'm actually need to go to the doctor. I'm still having the same pain with whatever it was, the knee or the back, and it makes it a lot easier. So report the injury if you believe it's at all severe.
Alex Eichhorn is with us from Axis Legal. Okay, Alex, for someone listening right now who's like, that's me. I'm hearing my story right now. What's their first step?
Give us a call. It's a risk-free consultation. You're going to speak with myself or one of the other attorneys at the office or a skilled intake paralegal. We can be reached at 414-414-4814, and we're readily available. So give us a call. It's entirely risk-free.
What's that first experience like for when someone contacts Axis Legal? How do things get started?
Yeah, it's really, really straightforward and easy. You are going to speak with a human. You're going to speak with someone who's very familiar with workers' compensation. One thing I could say is all of our staff have been here for a long time, and as such, everyone is very familiar with what the first steps to protect yourself are. So you're going to speak with someone, and at the end of the conversation, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable with the process than you were at the beginning. And if you need us, we're here. But oftentimes, from the get-go, we're just giving you the advice that's necessary, how to file the claim, what to do next to protect yourself, and then following up with you every few weeks to ensure everything continues to go steady or well until we're needed.
Sounds like rewarding work, Alex.
Really do like it a lot. It's I've done other areas of law, and this is the area that I decided to focus on when we started Axis Legal entirely.
Also contact them online at Axis Legal. That's AXIS Legal. Anytime. Alex Eichhorn with us this morning. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks again, Vince.
I'm Vince Vitrano, and this is the Sunday Sip.
Temperatures dropping. We're down to 36 at 9:30 on WTMJ.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margot Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Can it get any easier? I don't think so. James, you can get an online order done at martyspizza.net in 30 seconds.
And we've made it easy to order all the favorites that a lot of Marty's Pizza lovers gotta have.
Our classic sausage and pepperoni pizza or lasagna and masticholi entrees. They're all delicious. Marty's Pizza in Delafield and martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember, Marty's Pizza.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
Coming up to 9:32, we have Nizer Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And wow, it was almost like a shootout yesterday morning. How many people were involved?
Yes, thank you, Libby. About 4 people were involved. Milwaukee police are investigating a deadly shooting involving multiple victims on the city's north side. Officers say it happened Saturday morning around 11 near 37th and Darien Street. 5 people were shot. A 25-year-old man later died at the hospital before others, a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and 2 29-year-olds were all injured but expected to survive. Investigators believe the shooting stemmed from an argument, but no suspects are in custody. A new Milwaukee waterfront business is a total loss after a fire. The Driftwood Sauna Club near Water Street and National Avenue went up in flames just weeks after opening. Owners say the fire comes after about 6 months of work building the wellness space, which held its launch party earlier this month. The cause of the fire is unknown currently, and it's unclear what's next for the business. The company says anyone with reservations will be contacted, and a GoFundMe has been set up to help support recovery efforts. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues, just a few disabled vehicles along I-41 in the Washington County area. Then there seems to be debris on a ramp from 76th Street to I-41 East. Seems to be just like a traffic cone in that area, so just be mindful of that if you're driving in that area. Otherwise, looking pretty clear across the rest of the system.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Here's your WTMJ forecast. Today, mostly cloudy, breezy, and cooler with a few sprinkles or stray showers possible later today with a high of 41. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 25. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 36 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:35.
And in just a couple minutes, we're going to tell you what to watch for with those data centers and what it might be costing you in energy bills. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, cold plunge. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale is happening at the Realtors Home and Garden Show inside the Exposition Center at Wisconsin State Fair Park. For a limited time, you can save thousands with factory direct pricing and special show discounts. Shop floor models, brand new inventory, and exclusive show-only deals you won't find anywhere else. Don't miss the Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Sale, March 20th through the 29th, only at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Come see it, try it, and save big at the show.
It's springtime, and instead of getting outside and having fun, you have to paint the deck, repair the boards, and discover more rotten wood on your deck. Call Outdoor Living Unlimited to replace the old beaten-down wood deck with a beautiful new composite deck with new railing. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Shag carpet, avocado appliances, no frills backyards. A lot has changed. For 100 years, the Realtors Home and Garden Show, presented by Unilock, has showcased what's next, helping homeowners and gardeners rethink the way they live, indoors and out. This year's 100th annual show is packed with ideas for today, from smart homes to outdoor living spaces. Join us March 20th through 29th at State Fair Park. Buy tickets at mkehgs.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
It's 9:37. It's 9:37. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. We've been hearing quite a bit about data centers, and some say they're good for communities, but others stand firmly against them. Joining us on our WTMJ hotline is Isaiah Ness. He's CEO of Sun Bear Industries, and he's written an article called Wisconsin's Unfolding Energy Crisis. Explain what you mean.
The big thing that we're looking at is corporations are investing roughly $30 billion into Wisconsin's data center AI infrastructure, which obviously has its economic benefits. However, they are trying to cut deals and trying to position themselves to purchase power not only lower than what residents purchase power for and businesses purchase power for, but at wholesale rates or even slightly below wholesale energy rates. The piece that is problematic for residents of Wisconsin is every time a large power consumption facility comes onto the grid, not only does it make the grid slightly more unstable, but they're consuming so much power at such a low rate that the utilities have no choice but to increase rates for everyone else. And so what you see is a big data center company comes in, they lock in a rate of 4 cents a kilowatt hour for however many years, and residents who are already paying the second highest electricity rate in the Midwest and the top 20 electricity rate in the country, their rates are only going to continue to rise.
I think a lot of people are surprised when you say that Wisconsin power rates are as high as they are. What do you base that on?
We base that off of every year government releases sources showing what the average cost per kilowatt hour is in each sector, residential, and every year we track those prices. And so this year, if you were to exclude Alaska as an outlier, Wisconsin was in the 15th spot of that most recent report.
Okay, now you write that there are multi-day outages in the tribal nations around Wisconsin, as well as Milwaukee neighborhoods. Now, are these outages more frequent than they used to be?
Yes, they are, and it's hard to determine what the frequency is. We can look at it at a larger picture of how long power outages have lasted and how many homes are affected year over year and see that increase. But the tough part is it's hard to tell what the increase in power stability or decrease in power stability is at a specific house, right? A house might be used to losing power maybe once or twice a year, and we care not only about the frequency of how often, but we also care about the frequency of the duration. And that's really what we're focusing on. And we have communities that we've worked with in Wisconsin, for example, Menominee Nation, Sikagan Chippewa. I've been around and their power outages have lasted as long as 15 days.
We're talking with Isaiah Ness from Sun Bear Industries, and he also wrote an article called Wisconsin's Unfolding Energy Crisis. All right, so you're saying that these outages are lasting longer. What is that based on? Is it the infrastructure itself? There aren't that many data centers yet. Is it a drain from them? Why are we seeing these increased and longer duration outages?
Several factors. You have a lot of overhead power lines still. So when a storm comes through and your power line instability is based on an overhead line, more and more of those are being impacted. But we also just have a lot of aging infrastructure. And so there's a lot of utility infrastructure, a lot of power lines, transformers, substations that have not been maintained and upgraded the way they should. And the tough part is the regulations on upgrading those systems are not always clear, and every single year the demand increases. And so there's more homes built every year, there's more businesses that come in every year, there's always new infrastructure that is already planned in the state, and the power grid gets stretched more thin. What ends up happening is big utility companies and the big transmission companies spend most of their time on new infrastructure or expanding infrastructure rather than infrastructure maintenance.
Okay, so bottom line, what is it you're looking for? You're saying that preferential treatment's being given to these data centers. What do you want to see done?
What I would like to see done is a discussion with all stakeholders of Wisconsin on how those deals are going to impact rates for everyone else. And quite honestly, I think that there's a balance as well where residents, existing business owners, people that have been in this state should not have to go for a 10% increase on their electricity bill because a big Fortune 100 company wants to put a data center in Wisconsin. If we're not involved in the discussion, you're going to hear about a data center coming. You may or may not think too much of it. You may or may not have an opinion on it. And then a couple weeks, a couple months, maybe a year later, you're going to get a notice from the utility company, and it's going to say, hey, your bill is going to increase at this percentage. Reach out if you have any questions with a generic hotline number. And so the tough part is we are being introduced to the impact after it's already been determined. And we truly believe that tribes, communities, residents, businesses should all be able to come to the discussion to understand what these rates are, why they are being discounted at such a significant rate, and how it is going to impact the rest of the stakeholders in Wisconsin. I recommend, one, people understand what a data center truly is and what the power demand is. You know, they've showed a bunch of different reports, and you're going to hear a lot of different things about that environmental impact, about the water, about the electricity, everything that comes with it. But I hope that people take the time to truly educate themselves, learn and understand what a data center is. Is there one coming to your community? Who's supplying them with power? Is that who's also supplying you with power? And just understand the basics so that you can be educated in the process, but you're also not hit with a bunch of surprises when things change in your circumstances or local economy.
Isaiah Ness from Sun Bear Industries, thanks so much for joining us today.
All right. Thank you, Libby.
It's 9:43 on WTMJ. Coming up next, who do we have on Conversations today? Oh, wait until you hear about this one. It's a good one. All ahead right here on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and maestro of metaphor. What do you have for us today?
Dad, buying a home is a lot like having a baby. And it turns out that in today's extra competitive market, getting real estate pregnant with your offer accepted is the hardest part. So along with your agent, your Accunet loan consultant will do everything possible to get your real estate bun in the oven.
Yep, we can definitely help buyers make their offers more competitive. Okay, so once you've made the real estate baby, so to speak, what else do buyers and their agents want?
As a son, now this is getting gross and I regret the metaphor. But the next thing everyone wants are regular checkups and an on-time delivery. That's where Accunet really shines, with proactive weekly updates to reassure the sometimes nervous homeowners-to-be that everything's okay and on track.
It all starts with a rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval, and our home buying clinic is always open. Just click on the blue button at Accunet.com to get started. That's ACCUNET.com.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
I imagine that when you're in an emergency situation and you've got a doctor or a nurse treating you, you're not thinking about what they do outside of the hours they spend in the ER. But are you aware the Medical College of Wisconsin has an orchestra made up entirely of their medical staff, students, and employees? Well, research scientist and musician Sarah Winnia Smith told me about an interesting correlation between science and studying music as a child.
I find it interesting that so many medical professionals studied music when they were children.
There are so many of us. There are people in this group that I think could pursue music professionally. I mean, and many of them do play professionally here and there. It, I think, goes along with the personality. I mean, sometimes you might think it conflicts with the hard sciences. You know, it's just so rigid and thinking, memorize this, memorize that. But a lot of the skills that you need to thrive in a medical environment, being able to just work hard at something until you get it, it's also common to music. So many of us spent a lot of our childhood practicing a ton.
You know, nobody knows exactly when a person might be facing a medical emergency, and that includes the doctors who perform with the Medical College of Wisconsin Orchestra. Sarah talked about how musicians sometimes leave practices without any warning.
You had said that you give grace to the members that might have a demanding schedule. They're busy saving lives, and they can't quite make rehearsal at times. Have you ever been in the midst of a rehearsal where any of the members have been either on call or an emergency has come in where they've had to say, excuse me, we have to leave now?
Some of our medical colleagues have gotten up and left abruptly in the middle of rehearsal. I don't usually end up knowing what exactly happened, but, you know, when somebody leaves with a sense of that urgency, you figure they're going over to Fredert, maybe to attend to a patient, or, they've been called back to the clinic.
So that medicine still comes before music.
Absolutely, and all of us understand that. Priority one.
It's been said music has a healing power unto itself, and Medical College of Wisconsin research scientist and musician Sarah Winnia Smith is going to talk with me about staff members and students who perform with the MCW Orchestra. They have a jazz band and also small ensembles, and how this practice and this music enhances their lives both personally and professionally. It's all this morning at 11 o'clock on WTMJ Conversations.
The proof is in the pudding. Advertisers that hire us stick with us for years and years because they trust us, because we always promptly respond to customer needs, and because bottom line, we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com's Our Clients page to see who trusts us and check out a long list of real advertising success. Then hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order. Because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com. What's it going to cost to make it work? Wrong question. What you need to ask is, what do I have to do to make it work? What do I have to say so that I can truly set my business apart? That's why you call us, to make your ad budget give your message affordable repetition and to relay it in a powerful way to make sure folks remember your business first when their time of need arises. Go to Anderson-Smith.com, email me, and I'll call you ASAP because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
Do you hear that? That means that baseball is almost here. We're counting down to opening day as the Brewers open the season against the White Sox on Thursday, March 26th. This opening day series is sponsored by Matrix Basement Finishing. Mention opening day and save an additional 10%. Visit matrixbasements.com. Catch Brewers baseball on WTMJ all season long. We are the flagship station for Brewers baseball. WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests, and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Welcome to the Sunday Sip. I am Kristen Bry, co-host of Point Taken, but your host for Sunday Sip today. And today we are talking about reading and literacy with Dr. Scott Frank, CEO and founder of Open Literacy, and Erica Badger, Chief Academic Officer at Milwaukee College Prep. Welcome, ladies. Erica, first, tell me more about Milwaukee College Prep and then also your partnership with Open Literacy.
Yeah, so Milwaukee College Prep is a network of 4 schools on the north side of Milwaukee. We serve about 2,000 scholars in grades K4 through 8th grade. And then we also have a K3 program, a 3-year-old kindergarten program. Our relationship with Open Literacy started last year. And it grew over time. So last year we had a partnership where we supported about 80 kids on Open Literacy. And this year we grew to have 200 kids being supported with Open Literacy. And so Open Literacy is a one-to-one virtual tutoring with trained teachers that happens during the school day where our kids are receiving one-to-one tutoring 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And the instruction focuses on the science of reading, building skills like phonemic awareness and phonics, fluency, comprehension. And it aligns with our model with an MCP and really fits into our MTSS program.
Amazing. And I guess, Sarah, so we keep hearing about a literacy crisis. It's not just in Milwaukee. It's not just in Wisconsin. It's across the country. But what does that actually look like when you have an organization called Open Literacy? Like, what are you seeing?
So if you look at the national picture, about a third of students across the nation are reading at grade level at 4th grade. So not great, right? That's a large number of students who are considered not proficient. When you look specifically at Milwaukee, those numbers are lower. And on the statewide assessment for reading, you see that in Milwaukee, you have about 27% of 4th graders who are considered proficient. And on the National Assessment of Educational Progress, the NAEP, you see that just 9% of students are considered proficient. So that's just a huge numbers of kids who aren't reading at grade level. The NAEP also has something called the TUDA, and the TUDA focuses just on urban districts, and Milwaukee ranks among the lowest performing of all the cities. So just Detroit and Cleveland and DC, depending on what grade levels and subjects you're looking at, rank lower than Milwaukee in terms of our reading outcomes. So it's critical as we partner with Milwaukee College Prep to think about how we can really significantly transform those numbers. And MCP is just doing a stellar job of thinking about that.
So when we think about kids as individuals, when you can't read or struggle to read, I think some of us as adults, we can kind of assume what that does to someone's life. But what are the actual outcomes when someone never really becomes proficient in reading?
This is where, it sounds kind of cliche, but literacy literally is a civil right because it affects
every single aspect of your life outcomes, your job earnings, your health outcomes, your job choices. So your access to higher education. So there's just so many pieces of life that become intertwined with literacy.
Erica, I have a toddler, so not quite reading yet. So these terms, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction are new to me. What are they, and why is Tier 3 specifically so important?
Yeah. So Tier 1 is your core instruction. You're using a high quality curriculum. It's what all kids are getting in the classroom from a well-trained teacher that's delivering on grade level material. That's Tier 1. Everybody has access to it. Tier 2 is where you're getting a little bit more targeted support. So it might be in a small group, it might be a reteach, it might be filling in some foundational gaps, but it's in a small group where you're getting targeted support for something that you need. And Tier 3 is when it really intensifies a little bit. It's often one-on-one or even in a smaller group, and that's where our partnership with Open Literacy comes in, is that they are a Tier 3 support for our scholars. And it's so important for them to have that one-to-one relationship that they're building with their tutors and that they're getting intervention on their just right level. It's really hard when you have a classroom of 26 kids to give every single child everything that they need, but that Tier 3 support in our partnership with Open Literacy in our first and second grades, that's where we're targeting with Open Literacy, has been a real game changer in being able to give that Tier 3 one-on-one support.
Schools across the country committed to high dosage, targeted Tier 3 instruction. How different could outcomes look 5 years from now?
Well, we talked about tiered instruction. So Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 1 being what everyone gets, Tier 2 being what some kids get, Tier 3 being that targeted one-to-one, really targeted intervention. And right now, especially in Milwaukee, that isn't sort of a triangle shape, it's an inverted pyramid. And so you have many kids who need really targeted intervention and fewer kids who are getting what they need in that Tier 1. And so we want to flip that around. We want to sort of balance it out so that schools and school systems are operating in a sustainable way, so that the students are served well by what's happening in Tier 1, and 20% of students need targeted support, and 10% of students need that high-quality intervention. And so as we think at a systems level, which I think MCP is doing really well, shifting those systems takes time. But I think we can move from that inverted pyramid to that triangle that we're really aiming for.
Erica, how can listeners learn more about Milwaukee College Prep?
You can go to mkeprep.com and you can check out our website, because we are recruiting for high-quality teachers and educational assistants for the upcoming school year, as well as enrolling for next year. So mkeprep.com.
And thanks for joining us today. I'm Libby Collins. Stick around after the news. It's Adam Roberts with Reporter's Notebook. And I'll return at 11 o'clock on WTMJ Conversations when we talk with Sarah Winnea Smith about the Medical College of Wisconsin Orchestra.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic.